University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. It began around Easter of last year when nearly 200 teams took our test paper. It ends tonight as the two best face each other in the final of this series. In a little under half an hour, one of them will lift the trophy and join the immortals. Tonight's contest is between a university with nearly 40,000 students and a college with fewer than 400. So the result should, to say the least, be interesting. Manchester University steamrolled their way through the semi-final, flattening Lincoln College, Oxford by 345 points to 30. Let's meet them again for the fifth and final time.
Hi, my name's Henry Patinas. I'm from Birmingham and I'm studying for a PhD in pharmacokinetics.
I'm Ruben Roy. I'm from Manchester and I'm reading medicine.
And their captain.
Hello, my name's Matthew Yo. I'm from Lichfield in Staffordshire and I'm doing a PhD in the history of the book.
And I'm Simon Baker from Fleet in Hampshire and I'm reading politics and modern history.
The team from Corpus Christi College, Oxford, comfortably won their semi-final against St John's College, Cambridge, by 260 points to 150. Let's meet them again.
Hi, I'm Sam Kay. I'm from Frimley in Surrey and I'm studying chemistry.
Hi, I'm Lauren Schwartzman. I'm from Chicago and I'm reading a DPhil in ancient history.
And their captain.
I'm Gail Trimble. I'm from Walton-on-Thames in Surrey and I'm studying for a DPhil in Latin literature.
Hi, I'm James Marsden. I'm from Farndon in Cheshire and I'm reading ancient and modern history.
OK, let's get on with it. Fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. A streptococcal infection, the head of MI6 appointed in 2004, a rugby union team in South West Wales, and novels by Nathaniel Hawthorne, Sir Arthur Conan...
Manchester Baker.
Scarlet.
Well done. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on theories of comedy. In his Poetics, which ancient thinker discussed both tragedy and comedy, stating that the latter was the representation of inferior people and had its origins in the phallic songs of vegetation ritual?
Aristotle?
Who are the frogs? I think it might be.
Aristophanes. Yeah. Aristophanes?
No, it's Aristotle. Laughter results when two frames of reference collide, according to the theory set out by which Hungarian novelist and critic in his book, The Act of Creation, published 1964?
Imre Kertész?
No, it's Koestler. In his 1905 work, Jokes and Their Relation to the Unconscious, who proposed that laughter results when a sum of psychical energy, which was hitherto being used for cathexis, is allowed free discharge?
Freud?
It was, as Ken Dodd remarked, he never played the Glasgow Empire. 10 points for this. Listen carefully and answer as soon as you buzz. When read backwards, the first person singular future active of the Latin verb to love spells the name of which political figure?
Manchester Yo.
Barack Obama?
Correct. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on artists. Reappraised in the mid-19th century, which painter of the early Renaissance was born in Tuscany around 1415 and is represented in the National Gallery by a nativity, a baptism and a painting of St Michael?
Raphael? No.
Raphael? Was it 1415? Raphael's a bit late for Raphael. Early for Raphael, isn't it?
Giotto, yeah.
Giotto?
No, it's Piero della Francesca. Which Renaissance artist born 1445 and apprenticed to Filippo Lippi was reappraised in the 19th century largely as the result of an essay in the 1873 book Studies in the History of the Renaissance by Walter Pater?
Just be guessing.
Donatello?
No, he's not being...
Raphael, then.
Raphael? Yeah. Raphael?
No, that was Botticelli. In 1866, which almost forgotten 17th century Dutch artist was reappraised by the French critic Thierry Burger and is now one of the most highly regarded painters of his age?
Vermeer.
Vermeer is right. Another starter question. In law, what term is used for a tort or injury claim for which the plaintiff must prove that the defendant owed them a duty of care and that the duty was breached and that...
Manchester Yo.
Negligence?
Correct. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on horniness. Firstly, for 5 points, from a Latin term meaning horny tissue, what is the medical term for the transparent portion of the covering of the eyeball?
Sclera.
Sclera.
Notice the cornea. Although popularly known as horny toads, the group of horned animals that includes the species regal, flattail and Texas are all members of what large group of animals of the order Squamata?
Toads? No, we said toads. Yeah.
Snakes?
Snakes?
No, they're lizards. Natural bath sponges belong to a group known as the horny sponges, the main organic component of which is the same structural protein also found in bones, ligaments and skin. What's it called?
Collagen.
Collagen.
Collagen is right. We're going to take our first picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a graph displaying public approval ratings of a US president surveyed by Gallup. 10 points if you can identify the president represented and the major event which coincides with their highest approval rating, indicated with an arrow.
Manchester Yo.
Franklin Roosevelt and Pearl Harbor.
It is Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the attack on Pearl Harbor. So, your bonuses are 3 more graphs recording presidential approval by the US public. In each case, I want you to identify the president represented and the major event associated with the indicated peak or trough in their public approval. First, for 5 points, the president and the event associated with his lowest approval rating.
Nixon.
Nixon and Watergate.
Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal is right. Second, the president and the crisis during which this low occurred.
Jimmy Carter and the
Iran hostage.
Jimmy Carter and the Iranian hostage crisis.
Correct. And finally, the president and the conflict during which this peak occurred.
George H.W. Bush and the First Gulf War.
Correct. Another starter question. I want you to answer this as soon as you buzz. If a tap leaks a millilitre of water every second, how many 10-litre buckets will it fill completely in a day?
Manchester Yo.
86.4. 87.
Anybody want to buzz from Corpus Christi?
Corpus Christi K.
8.
8 is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses now are on mathematics, Corpus Christi. Which product of 2 vectors is defined as the product of the magnitude of the 2 vectors and the cosine of the angle between them?
Cross product.
That's the scalar or dot product. What is the scalar product of the 2 vectors j plus k and j minus k, where j is the unit vector in the y direction and k the unit vector in the z direction?
1.
No, it's 0. Therefore, what is the angle in degrees between the 2 vectors j plus k and j minus k?
180. 90.
Correct. Another starter question. It's a turgid welter of pornography and unimportant drivel, and until the raw ingredients of a pudding make a pudding, I shall never believe that the raw material of sensation and thought can make a work of art without the cook's intervening. Edith Wharton's words referred to which work of fiction published in Paris in 1922?
Corpus Christi Schwartzman.
Ulysses.
Correct. Your bonuses, Corpus Christi, are on an international standard seen on international train and airline tickets. The 3-letter codes defined by ISO 4217 indicate what?
Airports.
No, they're currencies like GBP and USD, etc. In 1993 and 2005, respectively, the Mexican peso and the Turkish lira were given the ISO 4217 codes MXN and TRY. The words represented by the letters N and Y translate to what adjective in English?
New.
New.
Correct. 2 states that share borders with Turkey have currencies whose names are anagrams of lira. For 5 points, name either.
Borders with Turkey. Afghanistan. And Thailand. Well, which one of those definitely has a border? Either of them. Iran.
Correct. The other one's Georgia. Another starter question. An unattested language from which a group of attested languages, in this case those of the Germanic, Slavic, Romance and other families, are thought to be historically derived. For what do the letters P, I...
Corpus Christi Schwartzman.
Proto-Indo-European.
Correct. Your bonuses, Corpus Christi, are on Kings of England according to Seller and Yeatman's 1066 and all that. In each case, give the name and regnal number of the king described. Firstly, whenever he returned to England, he always set out again immediately for the Mediterranean and was therefore known as Gare de Lyon.
Richard I.
Correct. He was very good at answering the Irish question and made a law called Poyning's Law, by which the Irish could have a parliament of their own, but the English were to pass all the acts in it.
John?
No, it's a Henry. Pick a Henry. 3, 4 or 5.
Henry III.
No, it's Henry VII. He was found guilty of being defeated in a war against himself, which was, of course, a form of high treason.
Charles I. Charles I.
Correct. Another starter question. The name of which evergreen Mediterranean shrub is a one-word version of what the priestess Hero might have said to her lover after his nightly swim across the Hellespont? There's oleander. It's rather lame, but I agree. Right, 10 points for this. What word as a noun can mean a pipe or chamber with several openings, a Hausdorff space with a countable basis, and as an adjective, varied or diverse in appearance, form or character?
Manchester Roy.
Utility.
Know anyone want to buzz with Corpus Christi?
Corpus Christi Marston.
Polymorphous.
No, it's manifold. Another starter question. In phonetics, what Greek-derived term indicates a speech sound in a single syllable in which the articulation begins as for one vowel and moves...
Manchester Yo.
Diphthong.
Diphthong is right. Your bonuses now are on pairs of words formed by the addition of an initial letter S. For example, tool and stool. In each case, give both words from the definitions provided. First, for 5 points, 2 nouns, one meaning a set of articles or equipment needed for a specific purpose, and the other, a light, short piece of satire or burlesque.
Set.
Kit. Kit and skit. Kit and skit.
Well done. Second, 2 verbs, one meaning to embezzle money, the other to engage in a business transaction in the hope of a quick or large profit.
I didn't hear it properly.
So it's fraud, embezzlement, and
Launder. Siphon.
slander.
Slander?
No, not sure.
OK, let's have an answer.
Don't know, sorry.
It's peculate and speculate. Finally, an adjective meaning adopting a teasing theatrical manner, especially for the amusement of others, and a noun meaning a playful, mischievous or naughty younger person.
Camp and scamp.
Camp and scamp.
Well done. We're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear an excerpt from a piece of classical music. 10 points if you can tell me the composer, please.
Manchester Yo.
Max Bruch.
It is. It's his violin concerto number 1. Your music bonus is 3 more violin concertos. I simply need you to identify the composer of each piece. Firstly, for 5.
Beethoven. Sorry, Beethoven. It's Beethoven.
Dave Beethoven.
It is Beethoven. Beethoven.
You're right. The violin concerto in D major, opus 61. Secondly,
Mendelssohn.
it is. It's his violin concerto E minor, opus 64. And finally,
Mozart, It's too nice.
Mozart.
it is number 3 in G major. Well done. 10 points for this starter question. Horsehead, helix and coal sack.
Corpus Christi K.
Nebula.
Correct. 3 questions about the standard 18-group representation of the periodic table for you, Corpus Christi. What precise type of quadrilateral is formed by lines drawn in order from the centres of the squares occupied by antimony, polonium, radon, iodine and back to antimony?
Does it have diagonals, or is it all straight lines?
It's diagonals, I think.
Okay, how about a rhombus?
Yeah, parallelogram.
Rhombus.
Correct. Which element is situated at the centre of the square of which the corners are cobalt, copper, gold and iridium?
Palladium.
Correct. If you draw lines from palladium to cadmium and from copper to gold, what mathematical symbol do you see?
Atoms. An X. It's an
A multiplication symbol.
No, it's a plus sign. Another starter question. What everyday concept did Iris Murdoch describe as the extremely difficult realisation that something other than oneself is real?
Corpus Christi Marsden.
Love.
Correct. Your bonuses, Corpus Christi, are on pigs in literature. According to Homer, which nymph and sorceress transformed Odysseus' companions into swine?
Circe.
Correct. In George Orwell's Animal Farm, the pig Snowball is generally viewed as representing which Russian revolutionary?
Trotsky.
Does he not throw out the other one?
No, he's the one who gets thrown.
Okay, sorry. Trotsky.
Correct. A frequent winner of the Fat Pigs class in the local agricultural show, the Empress of Blandings appears in the stories of which English humorist?
P.G. Woodhouse.
Correct. Another starter question. The CHP, known in English as the Republican People's Party, and the AKP, or Justice and Development...
Manchester Roy.
Turkey.
Correct. Well done. Manchester, your bonuses are on Latin third declension neuter nouns, specifically those incorporated into English unchanged in spelling. Which third declension Latin noun meaning swelling has become an English noun meaning the short, thick part of a stem or rhizome, an example being the potato?
Tuber.
Correct. The word Acer denotes a genus that includes which common trees?
Maples, I think.
Maples?
Hold on. You sure?
Yeah. Maple. Try maples. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maples.
Maples will do, or sycamores. From the Latin verb meaning to fall, which seven-letter word means corpse or dead body in both Latin and English?
Tridaris to fall, isn't it?
Cadaver.
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 Well done. Another starter question. Her name used to indicate an annoyingly virtuous person. Which title character of a
Corpus
widely...
Christi Trimble.
Pollyanna.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Character of a widely published children's work of 1765 is an orphan who spends the early part of her life with only one shoe.
Manchester Roy.
Heidi.
No, it's Goody Two-Shoes. 10 points for this starter question. In philosophy, what two-word Latin term indicates both reasoning that proceeds from cause to effect and concepts or knowledge that are logically independent of experience? That is to say, the...
Manchester Yo.
A priori.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on history, Manchester. The name of which month is given to the monarchy of Louis Philippe, King of the French, and of the revolution by which he gained the throne from Charles X in 1830?
February.
No, it's July. Fidel Castro led the 26th of July movement in 1959, which successfully overthrew which general's government in Cuba?
Batista.
Correct. Who was the intended victim of the assassination plot known as the July Conspiracy or July the 20th plot led by Klaus von Stauffenberg in the summer of 1944?
Adolf Hitler.
That's right. Another starter question. Answer promptly if you buzz for this. Which letter of the alphabet occurs most frequently in the line to be or not to be? That is the question.
Corpus Christi Trimble.
T.
T is correct. Your bonuses now are on symmetry. When printed in a simple plain font, 3 uppercase letters of the Roman alphabet have a centre of symmetry but no plane of symmetry. For 5 points, give me 2 of them.
Centre but no plane. Uppercase. I mean, it could be X.
Because that has planes of symmetry.
It could be O.
That's planes of symmetry.
I'm sorry, yeah, okay, fine. S is one, Z is S and Z?
Yeah.
S and Z.
Correct, the other one's N. Which 3 consecutive uppercase letters of the Roman alphabet have no elements of symmetry?
Q, R, P, Q, R.
Yeah.
P, Q, R.
Well done. Which is the only uppercase letter of the Roman alphabet, apart from O, that has a 4-fold axis of rotational symmetry?
X.
Well done. Another starter question. Which French obstetrician who died in 1957 gave his name to a method of childbirth involving exercises and breathing control?
Manchester Yo.
Kegel.
No, you lose 5 points. Designed to give pain relief without drugs.
Corpus Christi Schwartzman.
Lamaze.
Lamaze is right. Your bonuses now are on an Asian country. Iskander Mirza, Ayub Khan and Yahya Khan were, from 1956 to 1971, the first 3 presidents of which Asian state?
Pakistan. Pakistan.
Correct. Having come to power in a 1977 coup d'etat, which president of Pakistan died in an unexplained air crash in 1988?
I don't know. No, it is.
It's the one who was married to the one who's just died.
Okay,
Come on.
Bhutto.
Bhutto.
No, it was Zia-ul-Haq. Bhutto was hanged. Which president of Pakistan announced his resignation in August 2008, having seized power in a coup of 1999?
Musharraf.
Correct. We're going to take our second picture round now. For your picture starter, you will see a work of art. 10 points if you can identify the figure depicted in the centre.
Corpus Christi Trimble.
Dante.
It is Dante, yes. Get these bonuses, you'll take the lead. He's seen holding a copy of his Divine Comedy. Picture bonuses, 3 works of art depicting various scenes from the Divine Comedy. I simply want the artist in each case. Firstly, who painted this?
Any ideas? Caravaggio. Yeah, that's a good guess. Caravaggio?
No, it's Delacroix. Secondly, the artist behind this.
It looks almost like either William Blake or Rackham. Rackham?
No, it's Gustave Doré. And finally, this.
That is Rackham. Okay. Arthur Rackham.
No, that isn't. That is Blake. Right, 10 points for this. And having won a silver medal for rowing at the Athens Olympics in 2004, who won a gold medal for cycling in the women's individual pursuit at Beijing?
Manchester Baker.
Rebecca Romero.
Yes, your bonuses now are on 19th century Acts of Parliament. In 1802, the first of a series of acts was passed to limit the number of hours worked by women and children in the textile industry. By what collective name are these acts known?
Factory Acts.
Correct. An act of 1833 abolished slavery in the British Empire. In which year had an earlier act first abolished the transatlantic slave trade?
1807.
Correct. In 1811, Parliament passed the Care of the King During His Illness Act. Who was the king?
George III. 1811. Yes, George III. Sure. Yeah, George III.
George III.
Yes. Another starter question. Situated in a natural amphitheatre overlooking the Atlantic, Funchal is the capital of...
Manchester Baker.
Madeira.
You're right. Your bonuses are on a library, Manchester. One of the first genuinely public libraries, the Ambrosian Library, founded by Cardinal Borromeo in 1603, takes its name from the patron saint of which Italian city?
It's Ambrose. It's Rome, is it?
Come on.
Florence.
No, it's Milan. The Ambrosian Library contains the Codex Atlanticus, a collection of original drawings, texts and notes by which Renaissance figure?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Correct. Which romantic poet visited the Ambrosian Library in 1816 and wrote of being most delighted by the love letters of Pietro Bembo and Lucrezia Borgia?
Byron Shelley.
Shelley.
No, it's Byron. 4 minutes ago, I start a question. Which large town in central England shares its name with that of the authors of Samson Agonistes and the...
Manchester Yo.
Sorry, it's gone. Sorry.
You lose 5 points. And the economic consequences of the peace.
Corpus Christi Marsden.
Milton Keynes.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on US history, Corpus Christi. In each case, give the decade during which the following took place. The Bill of Rights was adopted. John Adams was elected as the country's second president. The cotton gin was invented by Eli Whitney.
1790s.
1790s.
Correct. Texas became a state of the Union. The Californian Gold Rush and the Mexican-American War both began.
1840s.
Correct. The 19th Amendment was ratified, giving the vote to women. John T. Scopes was tried for teaching the theory of evolution. Herbert Hoover was elected president.
1920s.
1920s is right. Another starter question. Giving its name to an early form of capacitor, which city to the southwest of Amsterdam is home to the...
Corpus Christi K.
Leiden.
Leiden is right. These bonuses could give you the lead again. They're on contemporary British opera. Born in London in 1971, which composer's works include the operas Powder Her Face and The Tempest?
Thomas Adès.
Correct. Premiered in April 2008 and centering on an eponymous creature from Greek myth. What was the second opera commissioned by the Royal Opera House from Sir Harrison Birtwistle?
The Minotaur.
Correct. Which North African leader was the subject of a production scored by Asian Dub Foundation and staged by the English National Opera in September 2006?
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi is right. 10 points for this starter. The realm that, according to Aristophanes, was built by the birds to separate...
Corpus Christi Trimble.
Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on similar words. Which German bacteriologist gave his name to the shallow glass or plastic cylindrical dish that biologists use to culture cells?
Petri.
Correct. What is the meaning of the prefix petro in the words petrology, petroleum and petroglyph?
Rock.
Correct. In which present-day country is Petra, a World Heritage Site, once described as a rose-red city half as old as time?
Jordan.
Correct. Another starter question. What surname is shared by the author of The Tao of Physics and the director of It's a Wonderful Life and Miss...
Corpus Christi Trimble.
Capra.
Capra is right. Your bonuses now are on Greek mythology, Corpus Christi. What alternative name for the women known as Thyiads, Bassarids and Maenads is the title of a play by Euripides?
Bacchae.
Correct. The baccy carried ivy and vine-draped thyrsi staffs that were usually long stems of which member of the carrot family?
Vine.
Come on.
Vine?
No, it's fennel. In the Bacchae by Euripides, the mother of Pentheus, the leader of the women who tore him apart in a frenzy, had what name since bestowed by botanists on the genus of plants that includes the American aloe or century plant?
Agave.
Correct. Another starter question. A taco terrier is a cross between a toy fox terrier and which other breed of dog originating from a country...
Corpus Christi Marsden.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua is right. Your bonuses now are on a literary theme. Which novel by Jane Austen is the story of Catherine Morland, an avid reader of Gothic novels who's invited to stay at a friend's eponymous family home?
Northanger Abbey.
Correct. The 1818 Nightmare Abbey was the third satirical novel by which author? It was preceded by Headlong Hall and Melincourt. Need an answer, please?
Walpole.
No, it was Thomas Love Peacock. Which abbey in Surrey inspired the name of Walter Scott's hero in a novel about the heir to an English estate who travels north and becomes involved in the 1745 Jacobite uprising?
Waverley.
Waverley Abbey is correct. Another starter question. Which of Shakespeare's plays is the only one to be set in Vienna and concerns the city's duke adopting a disguise in order
Corpus
to...
Christi Trimble.
Measure for Measure.
Measure for Measure is right. Here are your bonuses. They're on Latin abbreviations. Viz, meaning namely, is an anapagon. Manchester have 190. Corpus Christi College, Oxford have 275. Well, Manchester, if you're going to go out without winning, go out in the final. You were a terrific team, and it was very, very close. You led much of the way. Corpus Christi, wonderful performance from you. You suddenly woke up and you were really going like a train. So can I invite you now to come down and collect the trophy? Well, now, to present the trophy, we're joined by one of the country's best-loved poets. She came to prominence in 1986 with her debut collection, Making Cocoa for Kingsley Amis. She's been compared to John Betjeman and Philip Larkin. The late poet laureate Ted Hughes admired what he called her ability to, quote, whack the nail on the head when everybody else is trying to hang pictures on it. Please welcome Wendy Cope.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Well... That was a final worthy of the series, wasn't
That was so exciting.
Well,
it really was, yes. I enjoyed it tremendously. Yeah.
You watch regularly?
I do. I mean, I actually do watch this programme every week, and if I'm out, I record it. So I've been watching it for over 40 years.
What is the secret of it?
I'm just the fun of shouting.
Actually, we're supposed to know that, aren't we?
I mean, I just, you know, I was up there, you know, when I knew the answers, I was saying the answer. And so impressed when it's something where you have to do a calculation. I mean, do a calculation in front of television cameras seems to me quite amazingly impressive.
And it was astonishingly close, because the Manchester team were, I thought, leading more or less at the halfway point.
I thought they'd got it. I mean, so it's absolutely what you want in a final, is a race at the last minute, although I'm sorry you didn't quite make it, because you were both very impressive.
Tremendously exciting. Well, can I ask you now to present the trophy now to the winning team from Corpus Christi College, Oxford?
Yeah. Congratulations. That's really good. Well done. Thank you very much. Well done.
Well, that's it. Thanks to Wendy Cope and to all the teams who've entertained us for the past 6 months, and thank you for watching. I hope you can join us for the next series, but until then, it's goodbye from all of us.
And if that wasn't enough, there's more question firing over on BBC4 now with the book quiz. Cooking with pretty unusual tools, MasterChef is next tonight here on BBC Two.